You can't be an imam or a mufti or any of these big titles and be like the general masses. It is impossible. You need to be different. You need to be a role model. You can't be going out like Rick Ross. You can't be going around like a superstar, driving in some big car, someone escorting you, 3-4 bodyguards. Umar ibn Khattab wasn't like this. Why have we become so attached to people who are literally images of musicians or people that are rap stars? They just got beards, that's all. They wear a faux. But in reality, they are no different than these rap stars. Rather, these rap stars might have more iman, more belief than this individual. Because this individual comes out, memorizes the Quran, learns the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and uses it to misguide mankind. This is an open shaitan. And we need to learn this. And if we don't learn these things, we will always be in a state of what we see today. Youngsters respecting the wrong people. Youngsters loving the wrong people. And these youngsters, when they enter into Islam, they come out of a life from prison or wherever it may be, they don't let go of that slang or that jahiliyyah or the haircut or all of these ignorant things that we see. They will follow it with them because their teacher, Ustad so-and-so, he speaks like a thug. So what he learns the same thing. His Ustad is a womanizer. So what he learns is he becomes a womanizer. So we're just breeding individuals that are worse than their teacher. And then a new teacher comes. As we see in a few years, we've seen it. How many new teachers have come forward? People that have got skin fades. People that have got corrupt ideologies. They have no manners. They're abusers. They're womanizers. They've just left Jahiliyyah. And now they're teaching Islam. We need to wake up to this and realize, and this is a message that I want to send home. Know who you're taking your deen from. Don't just take your deen from someone who graduated 6 years, 3 years, he studied in a university. Look at his friends, look at who he is, look at how he speaks. Is his posts all about just making everyone laugh? This is wrong. They should know better. And they should be role models. And this is an advice for all those speakers that are taking this path of destruction. Sit down and ask yourself, what did you learn in Medina University? What did you learn in all these universities that you've been to? The scholars you've sat with, what benefit did you take from them? Because none of the scholars that we know of act like this. And I'm sure some of them don't even know what's going on behind the scenes of how much corruption we see of these 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds running around and just praising each other. This is not a market where you're just praising one each other to sell your courses to each other. One posts this one says, Sheikh so-and-so, mashallah. This narcissistic way needs to stop. People need to humble themselves. And we need to learn this from the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, who's taught us how to be a muhsin, how to be someone who is God-fearing, God-conscious. He knows who he is. And that's why I started the lecture as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who we truly are. So, as I mentioned, these titles, look through them. Don't just submit yourself because someone's called Sheikh. For verily we have found loads of these so-called shuyukh. They're all getting exposed one by one. They're either womanizers, either they're stealing charity money, or they're misguiding people intentionally. There's a lot of things happening that need to be mentioned, and inshallah ta'ala it will be mentioned, but in the right time. And another benefit is that we know who to befriend and who to trust. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, we shouldn't just befriend anyone. Rather, we should befriend the believers. And we're not permitted to befriend or trust a disbeliever. لا تجد قوما يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر يودون من حاد الله ورسوله ولو كانوا آباءهم أو أبناءهم أو إخوانهم أو عشيرتهم أولئك كتب في قلوبهم الإيمان. So befriending and liking the disbeliever, Allah teaches us. He says, you will not find any people. Allah negates Iman from them. Those who know the Arabic language, they would see that your Iman is getting negated. For who? Someone who believes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you will not find someone who believes in Allah, negating his Iman and believing in the last day, negating that he believes in the last day, making friendship with those who oppose Allah and his messenger. And lastly, it is essential to know the difference between a Muslim and a disbeliever, because when you come to marry your daughters tomorrow, you don't want them to get married to a mushrik, to a disbeliever. You marry them today, and then you find out tomorrow that his beliefs are incorrect. But you didn't know these things because you never studied what is shirk, what is kufr. You'll marry her to someone who makes du'a to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone who calls towards democracy. Someone who doesn't pray. So by learning these things, you'll be protected from praying behind a mushrik. You'll be protected from befriending a disbeliever. And it protects you from marrying a mushrik, which will lead to a child coming out of zina and many other problems that we face today.